Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today, it's August. We have a ton of peaches to use up because we keep getting them, and my husband bought a bunch, and we get them in our produce box almost every week this time of year. And I haven't been using them as much as I should because I haven't been cooking as much as I should because life. Anyway. I turned to Deeper on Roots, Vivian Howard's cookbook, because I knew that there was a peach section and we hadn't done everything in it yet. And I found this recipe. So today we're going to be making perfect peaches with almond pesto. So the first thing we're going to make is pesto. Now these are whole, previously raw almonds, but they have been toasted over medium heat for like 2 or 3 minutes, she says. It took probably like 5 to 8 maybe to get the pan and everything up to temperature until I started smelling the sort of nutty scent of the toasted nuts. But I went ahead and did that because they needed to be back to room temperature. So we're putting these in the food processor. And we are adding a few things to this. We're adding some orange zest. We are adding some Parmesan that has been cut into like rough, small cubes. And I did that a while ago, so it's probably mostly room temperature now. And then we're adding, we have chili flakes, salt, and some fresh nutmeg that I'm going to put in here. And she calls them chili flakes. They're red pepper flakes, whatever. They crushed red chilies, I think is what they are often labeled as here. And now we're going to pulse these until it's all coarsely chopped. Okay, I'm gonna call that good for now, and I'm also gonna try to get the stuff that gets all up in this little ridge in the lid here, because, all right, there we go. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna add because we're gonna do this while it's running, so you're not gonna be able to hear me. While it's running, I'm just going to turn it on, and we're going to add some honey. We're going to add half of the orange juice in the recipe, half of the olive oil in the recipe, and all of some lemon juice. So that's what you're going to see me adding now. Okay, so that's all been incorporated. And now I need to transfer this into a bowl. Got this bowl that I can just put a lid on and put it in the refrigerator, because once this is done, it has to sit for a while to let the flavors marry. So I'm going to, first I'm going to take the stuff off of this. And now we just stir in the rest of the orange juice, which I'm going to try to get, I saw a seed or something in there. So we're just going to stir in the orange juice. I think that's fine. And the olive oil. There we go, the orange juice, and now just the olive oil. That is more of a texture I would be expecting from pesto. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up my bowl a little bit. I'm gonna put a lid on this and let it sit at room temperature. It can sit in the refrigerator, I think she says, for up to a week. I'm gonna let it sit at room temperature because we're gonna eat this really soon, and it's supposed to be room temperature when you eat it, when you serve it. So that's good. We will be back at the stove because we also need to fry up some sage leaves for a little garnish. So that's what we'll be doing now. Got some olive oil in a small pan over medium heat, waiting until it shimmers. It's pretty much there, probably about 350. And we're going to fry these very quickly, about 10 seconds. And they get very, very spitty. And then we're going to put them on this paper towel and salt them. And that's it. All right, our pesto has been sitting for almost an hour now, and it's time to prepare the peaches. Now she says just wash them and scrub the fuzz if there is any. My family will not eat the skin, so I'm going to be peeling mine, and I hope that they peel okay. These are nice and fragrant, and if they're nice and ripe, they will often peel okay without doing anything. Without, you know, hot water. But anyway, so I am going to try that today, and I like to basically quarter them first, and then usually you can kind of pull the skin off from there. Sometimes you have to use the knife a little bit, but anyway. So I'm going to be doing this for a little while because it's going to take a little while, and you won't be seeing all this because I don't have a whole lot to say about this that I haven't already said. But when I have my peaches peeled, I will be cutting them into approximately 1/2 inch slices. So each of these will get like, I don't know, 3 pieces, 2 to 3 pieces, depending on the size of your peaches. It would probably be a lot easier just to go ahead and boil these, but I only do that. I do that often with peaches that have been in the refrigerator. These ones have not yet, just because then I don't have to put them in an ice bath, and all that is just kind of annoying. So, there we go. Let me show you just real quick. So I've got it peeled, and now I'm just going to cut each into approximately 1/2 inch slices at the back side, and they are going into bowls. Now I have 2 bowls, and I will talk about that when I'm all done. Okay, so my peaches are peeled, and to be clear, that is not part of the recipe. That is just because of my family. The only other thing I need to do is we're going to pour some amaretto over approximately half of the peaches that I did, and just kind of toss them with it. Now, I decided that I was going to make one with amaretto and one without. And I'm not going to make these individual servings, even though that's probably, you know, what she expects for this. But I'm going to make sort of a kid's plate and an adult plate. I don't think it's a big deal if you let your kids have a little bit of the amaretto that's like left on these peaches. But I thought we'd try it both ways. So peaches are ready. Let me go get my pesto and my sage. All right, so here is our almond pesto. All right, so I'm going to start with like a puddle, and since I'm making this sort of a sharing salad, I'm going to be putting quite a bit on here, just because she says don't be stingy. You want like a teaspoon or so in every bite. So, and now I'm going to So this will be our adult one. I'm going to put these peaches with the amaretto, just kind of stack them all up. Amaretto smells so good. You can use this peachy stuff in a drink if you want. All right, and now I'm just gonna put these other ones over here without the amaretto. Could probably put some juice on them, some lemon juice or something if you wanted, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now because we're gonna eat it right away, which is what you wanna do with these peaches as soon as they're cut. I put a few more on the adults than on the kids, just because I don't know if my kids are going to enjoy this with the almond pesto or not. Never know. But I know I'm going to like it, so. Plus, they can have some of this if they want. And then we're just gonna drizzle a little bit more of the pesto on top. And scatter the sage like rose petals. I found that basically as soon as they stopped sizzling, that meant they were pretty much done, the sage, while they were frying. So there we go. So there's our perfect peaches with almond pesto. We will let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make perfect peaches with almond pesto. So we actually got several opinions on this recipe because we had some guests coming over to be in the pool, so everybody sort of got to taste it. The peaches were perfect, which was great. It was great. They were great for this recipe. You do want them to be nice and sweet and ripe for this recipe. It wouldn't be nearly as good with hard, crunchy peaches, since you're not cooking them at all. I did peel mine, which you do not have to do if you do not mind eating the skin on a peach. My family has a problem with that, so I did peel them. The almond pesto was really an interesting flavor. It wasn't sweet, but it had sweetness. But it really felt more savory because of the cheese, I think. So it was really an interesting flavor. I had some more in the refrigerator and I was going to, eat it with other things, but we had a problem. Our refrigerator stopped working, so that had to be thrown out. We lost a lot of stuff in that. Not everything. Luckily, we caught it before everything went bad, but we had to go down to coolers and a smaller refrigerator. So didn't get to try that on other things like I wanted to. But that was really good. We liked it both. I think with the amaretto was a little bit better than without, because that was sort of a different flavor. But it was perfectly fine without the amaretto. If you don't feel comfortable serving that to children, it's fine. It's very little alcohol, honestly. It's a liqueur, so the amount that's in here, the amount that you actually end up eating, I wouldn't really worry about it, but we tried it both ways just in case. And they were both good, but I think there was just a little something extra with the amaretto on the peaches. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see this before the end of peach season. I think we're right at the tail end of it right now, and this is going to go out this week. So hopefully you guys can try this before you cannot get perfect peaches anymore. I think if you really wanted to, you could probably use some canned peaches, maybe some home canned peaches would be great, but I haven't eaten canned peaches in so long, I'm not really sure. That would be a winter thing you could try to brighten up. Oh, and I really did like the crumbly fried sage leaves. Those were good. Those were a good addition, in my opinion. So anyway, if you enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this with your friends, and come back and watch me make something else next week.